My name is Katie, and I'm the owner of Pixel Print Apparel. Let's get you started creating your own gang sheet. The first thing I'd recommend is to log into our website. If you don't have an account yet, please go ahead and make one. The reason being is our gang sheet creator uses IP addresses if you're not logged in and can sometimes get confused if you're using any VPNs or privacy settings with your browser. So I recommend logging in first. From there, click Build a DTF Gang Sheet if you want our regular film. And if you want to shop any of our other transfers, you can go here. Once it's loaded, you're going to see the Build a Gang Sheet DTF Hot or Cold Peel. The first thing you'll notice is the sizing. You can check the pricing with our sizing. However, you can change everything with the sizing in the app itself. The next thing you'll notice is your processing. We have normal processing Monday through Friday with a 1 p.m. cutoff for same day. If you order it before 1 p.m., you will get it by 6 p.m. processed. If it's after 1 p.m., you will get it next day by 6 p.m. We also offer early processing or late processing. Note that early processing is also available on Saturday. So once you've picked your processing, come down to click Build a Gang Sheet. The easiest way to build a gang sheet is our auto build. So go ahead and click on that. And if you're signed in, you will see your name up here. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and upload some images. So click the button and find the images that you want to upload. For instance, I want to open this one. And I'm going to also grab this one. Let's go one more. Let's open this one. Now it can take a little time for these to load, especially depending on the size. The first thing I'm going to notice here is the artboard margins and the image margins. Whenever you see artboard margin, this is around the entire gang sheet. So if you want to leave a little bit of space around your artboard, you can go ahead and play with these numbers. It is automatically set to have a small 1/10 of an inch margin, but you can make it bigger or smaller depending on what you feel is good for you. Now with the image margins, what that's going to do is going to put a margin between pictures. For instance, if I want to get 10 of these, it will put that 0.1 inch between, so it's easier to cut. The next thing you're going to notice is each one of these images now has a width and a height. When it uploads, it finds the aspect ratio. If I change the width of something, it's also going to change the height in proportion, unless I unclick this. For instance, for this one, I want to make this a 10-inch width, and automatically when I change this 10 to the width, it's going to change my height to a 12. Now, the next thing I'm going to notice is your resolution. If it is green, that means it's optimal or it's above 300 dpi. In this case, it's 715 when I make it smaller. Make sure you're getting this green box. Now, the next thing you're going to notice is down here, I can either duplicate or add copies. The big difference is if I add copies here, it's going to be the same width. If I duplicate, what I can do is make a duplicate of that image and then change the width. So say I need some 8-inch prints as well, and then I can change the copies there. Now, the next one you're going to see is a lower resolution. So you can see it was imported with a 4.31 inch width, and down here it says bad resolution. Basically what that means is if I print this, I am going to get some pixelation. And this is how the image is saved. If you need help with figuring out how to save your images before bringing them into the Gang Sheet Builder, please look at some of my other videos available on my website on how to save based on your preference of software. So to get this image to look good, I would have to bring it all the way down to maybe a 1-inch print. This is one I would remove at this point if I wanted a bigger print, re-download, re-export it at a better quality, and then re-upload it. So for our intents and purposes, we're going to just go ahead and remove this one because it is not good. For this one, I'm going to change this. This is going to be 11.5 inch. I'm going to change that. And I'm going to duplicate it. I also want a 10 inch here. Noting the DPI, anything over 300 is what we're looking for. Now, once I set my artboard margins, I have my image margins. I am going to give myself a little bit bigger artboard margins. Then I'm going to go ahead and click the apply button. When I click apply, it will automatically set my images where it thinks they should be based on tiling, and it will automatically tell you what gang sheet sizing you're going to need. Now, I can go back and adjust. So say I want to try to make it a little bit smaller, and I want to adjust the artboard margins down or up. I can do that. And apply again and see if it does change anything. Once I'm happy with the artboard margins and the image and the settings, I'm going to go ahead and click continue. From there, you're going to notice these boxes around my design. I like hitting this 100% up here because this is how it's actually going to get printed. If you notice, there is not a lot of fuzziness. This is what I like to see. You're going to see that artboard margin here that I added and the image margin around here. And that will be with all of them. I like the resolution here. I don't see any fuzziness on those images. If I come down to my other images, I can double check those images. I'm going to pull out here again. Then I'm going to just press the little plus button a couple of times. The main thing you're going to want to check, especially if you move anything around. So say I move something around. I come over here and I grab this. I'm going to click on it. I can move it around. Notice when I pull it over here, it's going to show me that I'm overlapping with that blue. All of your settings here at the top where it says resolution lines, you're going to see all of that. If I click on it, you're going to see that blue. That means you're overlapping. If you see this red border when you're holding the picture, that means you're out of the margins of the artboard. And what's going to happen is you're going to cut off your design. So you don't want to see that either. Now you're going to notice that this now has a black border around that. That means it is a terrible resolution or below 200 dpi. And if I click on it, it will tell me specifically what the DPI is. And right now it's 94 DPI at this sizing. So let's say I went ahead and I decided to print this and I wanted to print this. If I say save and add to cart, it's going to give me a pop-up. It's going to tell you any issues with your design. For instance, this first one says no overlapping images. We have these overlapping images here. To fix that, I would move it to where it's not overlapping. Once I fix that and I save, I should see that plus sign here. Also, I remove the overlapping images, but let's say I still had it off the artboard. I'm not overlapping my images, but I am off the artboard. Double check. You never want to see that you're off the artboard. And this means you're going to be cutting something off. Again, I'm going to go ahead, move it back over. And that's going to get rid of that warning there. then this no low resolution. Again, I have this bad image. So what I would recommend you do is re-export this. Go back into the editor. If this is an image that you bought off of Etsy or found somewhere else and you don't have access to the original design, unfortunately, there's not a whole lot you can do other than size it as small as possible to try to get a better DPI. As you can see, as I'm making it smaller, my DPI is getting better and better. But unfortunately, I would have to size this really small to get a good DPI. So this might be an image I just don't want to print at all. So I'm going to come up here, click the X, and get rid of that image. Now, when I go ahead and click Save to Add Cart, you're going to see that all 3 check marks are there. Then you're going to have to click the checkbox saying that you have full rights to the art. If you use any AI tools, just know that background removals particularly are bad about leaving white space or backgrounds in the images. Just know that you can go to settings and change your background to double check. You're going to want to zoom in pretty far to make sure how you're printing is correct. If you hit that 100%, you're going to see I do have a small edge here, but that's not bad. If I come down to the other design, I don't have any of that issue. I would definitely use this other color. You can switch it to any color using the color picker to find the best background to see your images. Once you're good with that, go ahead and read again that you understand that the images uploaded are correct, both in size, both going to 100% and checking it. And the other thing you should know is that monitors vary, and we are not responsible for any differences in color and artwork because of those differences. Once you acknowledge all that, you can add to cart and exit. Now, if you ever have an issue, it should add to cart no matter if you're logged in or not. But if you have an issue where it's not bringing it over to cart, log in, what's probably happening is you have some privacy settings or a VPN that is not letting it transfer over to cart. That's the main thing I see is people using VPNs, or mobile phones are very well known to have VPNs that maybe you don't even know, or you're switching cell towers so your IP changes. Make sure that if this shows your cart is empty, go ahead and make an account. It will use your username and email address instead to link it. Now, don't worry. You can see here, it does show that background color that will not get brought over into the print. You can preview it here. Again, don't worry about that background. If you need to edit it, you can edit it here. If the gang sheet disappears from your cart, go back into the editor. And as long as you were signed in, it will have this gang sheet saved username. So once you're done with that, you're going to want to go ahead and click your settings. If you order over $50, you'll get free shipping here or free local pickup with our pickup lock boxes. So once you're done that, go ahead and click proceed to checkout. Please note that if you log in after you do this, it will automatically revert back to ship. You will need to click free pickup if you're looking for that. So go ahead, fill in all your information if you are not logged in. If you want to save your mobile number, I do recommend this. So in case I need to contact you, I can do it very quickly. And then you can also add a note to your order. After that, you're going to go ahead and click place your order. And that is it. You have successfully submitted your gang sheet for print. Hopefully this is helpful. If you ever have any issues while doing this, you can click this button down here that says message us, and this will come straight to me, and I will get back to you as soon as I can.